the head tag. So what is the head tag telling us? So the head element or tag, HTML element or HTML tag, is saying that this is where we can put everything that has to describe or talk about our website, our metadata, the title of the page, what the page does and everything. And if you want to know more about the head tag, you can go back to the documentation that I just showed you now, and then you can look for head tag here. So it's H. So let's look for head tag. H. Okay, so this is it. So you read about it and see what it does. It says the document metadata element. So the head tag element contains machine readable information about the document. So now, what is the document they are talking about? Everything you write here is what they call documents. So this document is an HTML document. That's what it means. Then this head tag is saying that anything inside it is just talking about this document, and your document is that website. So it's talking about the website actually. So the first one here, which is meta character set, this char set means character set, is saying that it should be displayed in UTF-8. UTF-8 is like a kind of way, like the symbols, what's it called? The symbols that we are going to be using in the characters that we are going to be using in our page, in our website. So this UTF-8 is like a World Wide Web character encoding. So when you encode something, it's like, how do you want to display this thing? So with this UTF-8, it can display any kind of thing. So UTF-8 includes a lot of things like symbols, emojis. If I go to my resources list, I think I have something like that in the resources list. Okay, yeah, list of UTF-8 characters. So this UTF-8 character, look at them, everything is here. So all these characters are here. If you look this table, if you look at this table, this character, this description, and you see all of them here, it's starting with the exclamation mark. So this is a UTF-8 character. So this is an encoding. It means that our website supports all of these things that you see here, all of these things from A, B, C to Z, and then small letters and symbols and all of that. So you can come here and read about all these things when you have time. So that's what it's saying. So you need to always specify it there, so that when you put something in your code, you won't say the browser will not start having problems to display them. So you need to always, so you can put different symbols actually in your code, and because this thing is here, the browser will be able to display everything. You see this one that is here is to make your website compatible with this browser. You see this browser, Internet Explorer, which is now called Edge. So what this is saying, that Internet Explorer is the name of this browser before, but now it is called Edge. If you people that use Windows, your browser, when you look at your browser, you see something like Edge, the name of the browser, and the previous name is called Internet Explorer. So that's why they are saying Internet Explorer is equal to Edge. It means that Internet Explorer is the same thing as Edge. So what they are saying is our website should be compatible with Internet Explorer, Edge, or browser. So Internet Explorer was created by Microsoft, and the way they created it is different from the way Chrome is created. Internet Explorer does not really support a lot of things that we write here. It doesn't. So if you don't put it here, those things that are working here might not really work very well in your Edge browser. You understand? But because this thing is here now, everything is going to be compatible, and you shouldn't worry about it. You understand? And all these things important. One important thing you should note is that all these things should be inside the head elements. So the opening and closing head tag. If you put it outside, it might not work the way it's supposed to work. So it should be inside. And if you notice that everything we type here, nothing is showing on the browser. None of them is showing in the browser. None of those things we typed is showing in the browser. And that's how it should be. That's how it is. So none of them is showing in the browser. So when I come to the next thing, to the last one, which is the viewport, this one is helping us to make our website responsive. So when I mean responsiveness is when you can display your website on every device. So now we are doing this on our desktop. If you don't add this, your website may not be displayed very well on a phone. So when you get to, so I want to use an example of this. So if I drag it like this, this is the size of like a phone. You understand? And you notice that some things are not showing except I have to drag it like this. So if you're showing, let me show you an example how it is on the phone. So I'm going to right click and show inspect. So this is your developer tools, do many things that you don't know. So when you come to the developer tools and you want to see how your website is showing on your phone, you see something, this icon here is to toggle the device toolbar. So when I click on this, it's going to show this on my phone. So when I click on this, it's going to, this is the size of like a phone. And when you click on these dimensions, you click on it and you see iPhone SE, iPhone XR, iPhone 12 Pro, Pixel 5, Samsung Galaxy, iPad Air, iPad Mini, different kind of devices here. So the reason why they did not put iPhone 14 is because it's really not needed, because iPhone 14 and I think iPhone XR and 12 Pro have the same size. So but if you think you need to create your own phone and the size, you can come to edit and just click on any phone that you want to. You can see BlackBerry Z30, anything you want to create. So your website can work for any phones that you want it to show on. It shows me everything that I want. So now I have Galaxy S9, Galaxy S8. So if I click on Galaxy tab, it's going to tab, this tab, what's the tab? Tab S4. So and then I add custom device. Okay, not custom device. Let me just click on it. I've selected it now. So it's going to be here because I've selected it. So let me close this and come here and click on Galaxy tab that I selected. Where is it? Okay, this is it. So now this one will change to the size of a Galaxy tab. But now if I come here and click on iPhone XR, now this iPhone XR and other phones have almost the same sizes. They might be different, but the difference is not that much. So if your phone is showing like this if your website is showing like this on iPhone XR, that's how it's going to show on most of all devices. So you need to know most devices are between 360, 414 size and 800 and something. So now the width of this device is 414. That's 414 pixels in pixels, and the length is 896 pixels. So look at the way it's showing on the phone. Now this is really not a good way. I don't like the way it's showing. This is as if this thing here it does not have space, so it's trying to fit in there, which is not really nice. If I come to iPhone 12 Pro, this is 390 and it's still the same thing. You can see that 390 and 414 is showing the same way. That's why I said that it will almost show the same way. But if I come to Galaxy Fold, it's smaller and it's still showing the same way. So this is what responsiveness does, because I've already added that thing, and that thing will keep my website the same way on every device. It will not try to make it look bad. So you understand what I'm saying? So it will show everything the same way on every device. So that's what that responsiveness does. And if you come to my right hand side here, you see my code that I wrote. And if I go to that head now, you see it here. You see meta, name, viewport, and all of those things. It is here. So you need to always put it there so that it can be responsive as it is. But then you can also still edit the responsiveness. If it was me now, if I want to edit this, I'm going to make sure that this my name here and this information is not here, so that it can have a room. It can have room to spread itself. So I will bring it down here so that it can have room to spread itself. What viewport means is the viewport of your screen, the screen size of your laptop or your desktop, and it is the content that this thing is targeting is the width of your device. So it's saying device width. So what is your device? Your system, your laptop, and the initial scale should be 1.0, which is the initial. This 1.0 means that how they will look at it when they first go into it. So the initial scale is how it's going to look like the first time somebody is visiting your website. All these things are inside the documentation that I gave to you in the code, in the resources website. So you need to read about them. And then the last thing I want to talk about is this title. Not the last thing, but the last thing in the head element is the title. So this title is just telling you that the title of this website is my personal website. And when you come to your page here, you see it here. Okay, so let me reload this. So you can see here at the top here, you are seeing something, my personal website, and every website have that. So even the YouTube that we just looked at, you can see here YouTube. Now let me go back to my file, and then I want to talk about this one here, body tag. You can see the body tag is not in the head tag. So after this title, we close it here. So we close the head tag here, so that the next thing you are writing, the browser will not see it as something that is inside the head. So the reason is because anything that is inside the head is just giving an information about the website or this document, the metadata of this document, which is the information of the document. And then this body, what it does is, this body is saying that anything you write in the body is what will be displayed here. So everything we have written outside the body is not displayed here because it's not meant to. So anything you want to show on your page should be inside the body of, in between this body tags. So now, like I said something, you can nest elements inside elements, and that's what we did here. We nested these metadata and the title elements inside the head tag. So this head tag is the parent of all these 4 children. This body is like a brother of head. You understand? This body is like the brother of this head tag, because the HTML here is the parent of these 2 tags. This HTML, that's why they call it the root folder. So it's the root folder, is the ancestor, is the one that bears all these children, and it bears a lot of children. Anything that you are putting that you want to work, that you want to show on your website, or you want it to work on your website, should be inside that HTML tag. Don't put anything outside except this version, this tag that is showing the version, or that is describing the version of your HTML file. And then I said something, this body tag is just to display anything you want to show on your browser. So like I typed bold the other time, and those things that I typed, so that is it. Okay, so this is what we are building, and this is let me come out of this. So now the first thing is an image. So I've talked about empty elements before. So image elements are always empty elements. So you don't need to write anything inside of them, because you are not writing a text, you are only showing an image, and this is how you show an image on a website. So the first thing we want to do is now to show an image. So everything has a tag, and this is how it is written, img, like this, and you see that it's suggesting. So anytime you are typing, it will suggest what you are trying to type, and when I click enter, I will close it. So this angle bracket, this one here, is an empty element to show an image on your page. If I save it, no image will be shown now because there's no image inside. So if you want to put image inside, that's when we'll now talk about attributes. So this, anything you are writing inside, you can see that I want to write something inside. I did not open like this. I didn't do it like this. Now the reason why it didn't close the image is because there's nothing like image closing tag. Image does not have a content, it only has an attribute. Now an attribute is something that modifies a tag, an HTML tag. Now an example of an attribute is a person. A person has as a man or as a woman, we have different attributes. A man has a finger, a hand, an eyes, a nose, mouth. All these things are attributes of human beings, you understand? And all these elements too, they have attributes, and this attribute modifies these people. It allows them to do something, you understand. And like this place, this root file of this HTML, we have something called lang, and this lang means language, and this language is English. So it means that inside this website we are accepting English. So inside the image has an attribute called source. So what this source is to look for the source of our picture inside our file, our folder. So right now we don't have any picture inside the folder, and if you go to your browser where you created this folder, if you click on it, you see that the only thing we have is this homepage.html that we created here. And if I create another thing and I say style and I save it, by the time you come to your this thing, it would have created it here. And if I delete it here, move to bin, it would have deleted it here also. You can see everything is working immediately. So when you are using this thing, don't come and delete anything here anyhow, or else you get to your code and not find it. And don't delete your folder. If you delete the folder or move the folder, it will not work. You won't see it here again. You have to go and find it where you open it and reopen it in your VS Code. So be sure of what you are doing before you do it. So now we need to open. You can see that immediately I delete the style here, it cancelled it here because it's not there anymore. It can't find it anymore. So just close it. So now we need to find the source of the image. But before we can find source, we need to put the image in our folder so that we'll be able to represent it in the code. So what you do is you come here and create a folder, because if you're having more than one image in your code, you need to separate them. Now this is how I code. I organize my my code this way. So I'll create a folder and call it images. So if you notice, when I'm creating a folder, I did not click on the first icon. It's this one that looks like a folder icon. When you hover on it, you see something like new folder. So when you click on it, you see I just created a folder, and when I open it, there's nothing inside yet. So what I want to do now is I want to put something inside this image folder. So I'm going to go to my desktop and look for this image. So if I want to put this image here, there are two ways I can do it. I come here and I drag this picture into that folder from here, or best thing you can do is right click on the picture, copy it, and go to your folder, go to your images and paste it here. So that's why I said yesterday that you should know all these basic things, how to copy and paste in your system, not on your code, I mean in your system. So you can see that immediately I pasted that picture here, is here, it showed here. Now one thing I want you to always note is that the name of your picture should be something that is not too long. So if you download a picture online and the name is long, try to change it, because you can't be typing a very long thing here, because you have to type it here. So before we can show this thing here, we have to come and type it here. So you need to be very careful of the name, and the name should not have space. So now we want to bring in this image. So the first thing is there's this attribute called source that helps you to specify the source of that image. So when you write source like this, you write equals to, okay, after C, so equals to, and when you write equals to, automatically VS Code knows that you want to put something inside this double quotes. So anything you want to find in your source should be in a double quote. And if you look at this place, this language is the same thing that is here. So there is a lang attribute, you understand, and equals to en, and the en is inside a double quote. So see this double quote as opening quote and closing quote. So anything you want to write here will not be inside, it will be here, so that the browser will know that this is where it stopped. So you need to always know how to separate your things, because the browser is not that smart. Anything you write here, if you don't put this here and you write something later, it will see everything. You can see that immediately I removed the double quote, all these ones became green until where the double quote stopped. So all these things now is language to the thing, and by the time you want to display this, it will not understand what language this is, because this is not a valid language icon. So that is it. You understand? I don't know if you guys understand this. So that is how you should always put the quotes, so that it won't think everything everything next to it is the same with this thing. So now we want to look for this image. So where is the image? First of all, this picture is inside a folder called images. So the first thing is you use this forward slash. So this forward slash is to specify a path. This thing is representing the root folder where it is coming from. So this is the root folder, and the root folder is what? My personal website. So that's the first folder. This is what is representing it. So the next folder is now images. So you don't need to put the name of my personal folder. You don't need to put it there. This one is representing it already, this forward slash. And then you now put the next folder, which is images. And when you put the next folder, so it means that anything after this forward slash means that this images is inside the forward slash. Do you understand? So the images is inside the forward slash. So this images is inside this forward slash, which represents the root folder, which is my personal website that you created the first time on your desktop. So the next thing is that the picture you are trying to upload or show on your system is inside the images folder. So you now say another forward slash. Then you can see that VS Code is already suggesting, because VS Code has already known that this image is inside the images folder. So you can click on it and you see this here. So it's saying my name, the name of the pictures. That's the name that we were trying to change the other time. Is inside the images folder, and this images folder is from the root folder. So you can now click on save and go back to your website and see it here. So you can see that this is just an empty element. You are not closing anything here. There's no closing element because there's no content here. It's only an attribute that you are seeing here. So this attribute is modifying this image, showing this image. You understand? That's what it is. And there's another important attribute for image that you need to know about, and this attribute is called alt. Alt means alternative. If you notice that most times in HTML, things are always abbreviated. Image is abbreviated, source is abbreviated, alt, which is alternative, is also abbreviated. And this alt, you can see this attribute defines an alternative text description of the image. Now, what this is saying is, anytime you have an alternative text is just saying that this image, this is what it is. And like I said, when you are using screen reader, the person that is viewing your website is blind, cannot see the picture, but this one will tell the person. So this one will allow the screen reader to tell the person what kind of image is there. So you can say that Abe's image or picture. So since the blind person cannot see this image, the screen reader will read it to it that there's an image here and it is Abe's picture. And if you come here, this Abe's picture will not show up here. The reason is because it's not meant to show. It is just meant for screen readers to read and tell the person that this is an image, but it is Abe's picture. You understand? That's the type of image that is there. And if you come back to your code, now let me show you something, another thing that this alt works for. So imagine, I know some of us would have visited websites where you see that image is supposed to load, but it is not loading fast because of network issues. And then you now see something that will show first with a name. Now I'm going to show you that thing. So imagine that I mistakenly misspelled Abe. You know, there's no image on my code, on my file structure here, on my file system here, that says ABBE. The only image is ABBEY, not ABBE. So so this one will not be displayed. So the browser will look at it and say, okay, the image is, we can't find that image, and it will show the name of the image or the alternative this thing. So you can see Abe's picture here, and you see this icon Yeah. So sometimes it is not that you made a mistake. Sometimes it's always when network problems comes in, and then it won't show the image immediately, because images and videos, all those things take times to load. So when your network is slow, it will be taking time to load, and this is the first thing it will show first before it will now show it fully. So when I go back to my Abe does to the correct spelling, it's going to show it, and it will remove the text, which is Abe's picture, the alternative text from there.